Elon Musk did not found Tesla. That is not a typo. Tesla was incorporated on July 1st, 2003 by two men named Martin Eberhard and Marc Tarpenning. Elon Musk was not in the room. He was not on the phone. He was, at that moment, busy running a rocket company. Musk didn't even meet the founders until months later at a party thrown by the Mars Society. And yet, if you Google who founded Tesla right now, Elon Musk's face is the first thing that comes up. His name appears before the men who actually incorporated the company. He has legally settled into the title of co-founder, and today he is the richest person on Earth, with the majority of that wealth tied directly to a company he didn't start. So the real question isn't whether Musk founded Tesla. He didn't. Not in the real question is more interesting than that. How did he end up owning it? That story of money, control, survival, and sheer relentlessness is one of the strangest in the history of American business, and almost nobody tells it correctly. Tesla is currently worth somewhere north of $500 billion. Musk's personal stake in the company has, at various points, been valued at over $400 billion. The stock went public at $17 a share. People who bought in that day and held are sitting on roughly a 300-fold return. Those are the headline numbers. They're extraordinary, but the mechanism behind them, the actual financial architecture of how Tesla was built, funded, saved, and scaled, almost never gets discussed clearly. Instead, you get either hagiography or outrage. Either Musk is a visionary genius who single-handedly electrified the planet, or he's a fraud who took credit for other people's work. Both of those framings miss what's actually interesting. The truth is messier, stranger, and in some ways more impressive than either narrative. Tesla should have died at least 3 times. It came within days, sometimes hours, of financial collapse. The people who saved it made decisions that look insane in retrospect and obvious in hindsight. So let's go through it, step by step, from the beginning. Martin Eberhard was an engineer and entrepreneur who had already built and sold a successful company, one of the first commercial e-readers, years before Amazon's Kindle existed. He was not a dreamer, he was a technologist with a track record. In 2003, he became obsessed with a simple problem. Why couldn't an electric car be good? Not good for an electric car, good, full stop. He'd looked at General Motors' EV1, an electric vehicle the company had leased out and then controversially recalled and crushed. The technology existed, the demand appeared to exist, and yet the major automakers kept insisting the world wasn't ready. Eberhard wasn't buying it. He partnered with Marc Tarpenning. They incorporated the company in July 2003 and began looking for money. They tried to get funding through AC Propulsion, a company also building electric vehicles. AC Propulsion passed. They'd already tried another tech billionaire. That didn't work either. Then they thought of Elon Musk. The pitch worked, partly because Eberhard and Tarpenning had met Musk at a Mars Society conference. They knew he was already thinking about sustainable energy. They understood that to get him interested, they didn't need to sell the car. They needed to sell the mission. It worked. In February 2004, Musk led Tesla's first funding round, contributing $6.5 million of the total $7.5 million raised. He became chairman of the board, not CEO, not founder, chairman. Eberhard remained CEO. He had the vision and the operational control. Musk had the money and the seat at the head of the table. For the moment, that arrangement held. The plan was to build a sports car, the Tesla Roadster. Use it to prove the concept, show the world that an electric vehicle could be fast, beautiful, and desirable. Then use the profits to fund cheaper, mass-market vehicles. It was, on paper, a reasonable strategy. In practice, building a car from scratch is roughly as difficult as it sounds. The Roadster was based on the chassis of a Lotus Elise, a decision meant to save time and money. It did neither. Every single component had to be re-engineered for electric power. The battery system alone involved thousands of lithium-ion cells, the same type used in laptops, packed together in a way that had never been done at this scale before. Costs spiraled. Timelines slipped. By 2007, Eberhard was being squeezed out. The board, with Musk increasingly involved, felt the company needed different leadership. In late 2007, Eberhard resigned as CEO. He left the company entirely in 2008. Years later, he sued Musk, alleging he had been misrepresented and pushed out unfairly. The case was settled. That is not the story that gets told on podcasts or in profiles, but it is the more honest one. Tesla today sells over 1.5 million cars a year. It operates gigafactories on multiple continents. It has, by any reasonable measure, accelerated the transition to electric vehicles in ways that most analysts thought impossible 20 years ago. Whether Elon Musk deserves the credit for that, and how much of it, depends partly on how you define credit, and how you define founding, and what you think the role of narrative is in building a company versus the role of engineering, or capital, or timing, or luck. What's harder to dismiss is the outcome. The original founders were voted off the island, as Eberhard put it. The government loan came with strings. The IPO was considered by many to be a speculation. Every near-death experience was followed by a survival that looked, in hindsight, almost inevitable. But survivorship bias is a powerful distorter. For every Tesla that clawed its way back from the edge and became a trillion-dollar company, there are dozens of electric vehicle startups you have never heard of. They also had engineers, they also had investors, they also had timelines and ambitions and mission statements about saving the planet. They just ran out of money. So here is the question this story leaves you with. Is Elon Musk the reason Tesla survived, or is Tesla the reason we remember Elon Musk the way we do?